Life, and this is a day in the life at Moringa for Life's sanctuary, the Moringa Sanctuary. And what we're doing today is taking cuttings. This all went through the winter and then it went through spring. So we cut these down. It's not what we would make product out of, but it gets this ready for the moringa that's going to grow from this point, and then that will be our harvest. So right here, this is cutting, and the way that we do it is that we always cut at an angle here. I have my hooty saw. It's my favorite tool, and you can see this is from a previous year that was cut right here, and this one branch is now 5 branches that will produce leaf. Right, and this is the reason we're doing it. And so you can see this has been cut several times, and it will continue to put more branches out, and it'll eventually be wider and wider with a lot of branches, and that means more leaf production. So that's what we're doing on the farm today, and we're harvesting this. The main harvest that we're doing here is the flower. So the leaf is really not that viable, maybe a little bit, and then you'll see later on as we process this, some of that leaf we'll use if it looks really good and we really want to make some food out of it, but that's not what we would make product out of. So once we do these cuttings, we always store it in the shade. So if this was in the full sun, this would wilt really fast. It would be hard to take off. So always store it in the shade. This is the one that we just saw being cut, and so we'll process this. So we want to process, only cut as much as we can process in a day's time, on the same day. We don't want to have this piled up and then come back tomorrow or next day and try to process it. So in the same day, only harvest what you can process in that same day. Only take as many cuttings as you can process what's, the top part of those cuttings. So always store it in the shade and continue the process until you're completely finished with it on the same day of making your cuttings. All right, so once you have made those cuttings, we have these branches to take off. We're just snapping those all off. And this particular one is big enough to make a cutting as well. So there was another cutting that it was cut from, and now this is the diameter that's big enough to make another cutting. So we're going to put that to the other side, so that'll be another cutting. And all of these that we're harvesting, see, it's the flower that we're taking because the leaf has gone through kind of a battering of going back and forth, right? In winter, it's spring, it's summer, no, it's winter again. So we don't harvest this leaf to make any products. I'll take some of them, so I'm sorting through, and over here is a pile that I'll go through to see what is viable enough, and then I'll make a moringa pesto or a moringa drink for out here for when we're working. But the main harvest that we're doing is the flower. So I'm pulling all of that flower, and then I'm just deciding, is there anything here I want to keep? And if not, I discard it. And once we have a good amount of moringa flower, like this, and it's unfortunate you cannot smell this, but it is just this delightful, beautiful scent that the moringa flower has. What I have right here is an ozone machine, and it's pumping ozone into this tub here, and it's been going for about 30 minutes, and I just turned it on again because now I'm getting ready to put the flower in there, and that's sterilizing that water. It's killing bacteria, right? Sterilizing that. So we're just going to do a rinse into that. And we would do this when we're doing the leaf as well. Just it's a bigger ozone machine, and it's a bigger tub, and it's a lot of moringa leaf going in there. But for the flower, this is adequate size because it's not that much. Now, this flower set in May, which means if it went through the whole season, it would be viable seed pod through the winter, and then we would harvest the following spring. But we are needing to harvest those cuttings all the way down, those trees, and those will leaf out, and that'll be our harvest in the fall. So we're taking the winter, the overwinter and spring green leaf out. We're harvesting the flower. More flower will come, and then we're just rinsing that in that ozone water, and then that will get rinsed. We'll take that flower and dry it. So this is the fruit of our labor today. We cut those branches down and we made cuttings. You can see the diameter of the cuttings here. In the back are those larger ones. This is a pretty major cutting here, but it's going to produce moringa leaf. This is a little bit thin, but we're going to give it a chance. You know, sometimes we've had cuttings that are thin that produce. So we always give it a chance, but you can see this is all the cuttings that we did today, and we're continuing. This is just the morning session, so the harvest will continue.
Cuando la luna se asoma, iluminando la noche ni mai, y las estrellas se ven en el firmamento, azul profundo de luz emana el gran misterio ni mai, el misterio de la noche bien adentro. Es la presencia del Espíritu Eterno. Es la presencia del Espíritu Eterno. Son las raíces profundas las que nos dan sus secretos ni más. Medicina de la tierra bien adentro, abriendo nuestras conciencias, abriendo corazones ni más. El misterio de los montes bien adentro. Es la presencia del Espíritu Eterno. Es la presencia del Espíritu Eterno.